Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the campus here at Pinkerton Academy. Jason Roby, Tom King, our executive producer, Pete Johnson, for Nashua ETV. And I'm standing with head coach Brad Craik of the Bishop Guertin Cardinals. And, Coach, a return to the site where this is a game a year ago that was a difficult one for your team, but probably in the long run ended up helping you. You lost a tight one here. Kind of sets you up for a semifinal game a few weeks later. What are you telling your girls tonight as you revisit the scene of the crime, so to speak?
Yeah, we talked about it, that's for sure. We reminded them, but they didn't need much reminding. So, look, we were up 13 in the middle of the third quarter and, had all the momentum and just figured out a way not to win that game.
Yeah.
Mostly due to the fact that they stepped up and they played a really great last 12 minutes of the game. They just flat out beat us. So lesson learned, right?
Right.
We're back on the road again against a really good team and just a real good test early in the season for us.
Some things that you're looking for tonight from your team. We talked a little bit during the post game that layups, free throws surprisingly were an issue in the last game against Londonderry. Were those areas of emphasis in practice earlier in the week?
The layups and free throws always are.
Yeah.
We've been shooting the ball pretty well from the free throw line all year. I'm not too worried about that. But finishing around the rim, especially in high school basketball, matters a lot. So, it's a focus for us. Big thing for us, and again, I sound like a broken record. I know I do, but, I want to know if we can defend.
Right.
Can we defend a good team for 32 minutes, kind of control the glass, get out and run, do our thing. So we'll find out.
I had an opportunity to talk to Coach Buskey, the head coach of the Pinkerton Academy Astros, and a longtime staple here in the state. Always has a fantastic team, a fantastic program. Elizabeth Lavoie, their star player, as you know, is not going to be playing tonight. And she says, look, she goes, this is an opportunity for other kids to step up. Is that a mentality? You can speak to that as you've battled that injury bug at times with some of your kids, and maybe you find some kids, give them some opportunities that they wouldn't have had otherwise.
Yeah, no question. Look, we played the entire season last year without Megan Stack.
Right.
So, she's certainly one of our key kids. So it was a great opportunity for some of our young kids to step up, and they did that. And, took some lumps along the way in the first half of the season, but really matured. So I'm sure she's looking at it very much the same way.
This is a gym that is looking like it's going to be pretty packed here tonight. Obviously, this is a Pinkerton team that has a great fan base, and Bishop Guertin always traveling well. Of course, we are having 3 broadcasts tonight on Nashua ETV, so it's a night of firsts here. Tell me, Coach, what are you looking for from your girls tonight other than just the defending part? What are some things you got to take away from tonight's game in order for your team to have some success?
Yeah, I think we got to control tempo. So, the faster we play this game, the more we make this a 94-foot game from start to finish, the better off I think we'll be. And look, these guys always defend well. She'll mix things up. She'll play some man. She'll play some zone. So, we're going to have to hit some shots at some point in time in the game.
Right.
Because they're going to take away the transition. They're a good team. They're very well coached. So, they're not going to let us just run up and down the floor either. So we're just going to have to be sound, for 32 minutes and see if the ball goes in the basket for us.
From a health standpoint, how are your kids doing?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're still a little banged up. We haven't had a practice this year with all 11 kids. So, but look, you got to go play, right?
A work in progress. He is Brad Craik. Coach, good luck to you this evening. We'll talk to you at some point in the post game.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, welcome to the gym here at Pinkerton Academy, and I am joined by my co-host, Tom King. And Tom, this is a game that, look, we were here a year ago. This is a Pinkerton team that was down by 13, as Coach Craik said, and they came storming back and really owned the latter stage of that second half.
Well, what happened in that game was Guertin fell in love with the outside shot, which they weren't very good at after that point. And when you're shooting and you all of a sudden go cold, and that's the game that you decided you were going to go with, the perimeter, Pinkerton just got the momentum and just went right by. Now, that's one Pinkerton game. Take the second one, and that had unusual circumstances because Pinkerton had about 20 fouls in the first half. It was unbelievable.
Changed the course of that game, and probably the game plan was thrown out the window at that point.
Oh, you toss it right away.
Yeah.
And Lanny Buskey was almost in tears after the game because, this was a group she thought was going to win. And they didn't do it because I think she felt she didn't say anything to us, but don't you have the feeling she must have thought it was taken away from her?
Yeah.
So, and her kids, which she felt bad for. But at the same time, she gave Guertin all the credit, and Guertin deserved the credit the way they played in the tournament, especially the way they came back. This is my first look at them, and of course the big thing for Guertin is the return of Megan Stack. 18 and 12 double-double, and now an 18 and 10 double-double. Granted, one of them was against Concord Christian, which is young, in a holiday affair. But this Guertin team is dying for competition.
Right.
They got some with Portsmouth on the road.
They did.
Right? So they're going to get competition tonight. This is going to be interesting. Big floor. Talking to Brad Creek. How do you want to play? He says, as fast as we possibly can. They want to run, and run some more. So you'll be busy, Jason. Keep it up with the turnover.
I brought some water. The oxygen tank is underneath here. You mentioned Megan Stack, Tom, and obviously didn't have the Megan Stack at his disposal a year ago coming off of that ACL injury. The one thing you'll notice about Megan Stack is really she's not a point guard, but she really does a great job distributing the ball on those fast breaks.
The big thing is, Jason, and you've seen them. I haven't seen them this year yet. And it's late. You're actually late for me to not have seen them already. She can run with a running team. So that's the key. So, I mean, she's back. She's playing well. Gives them another. I mean, look, last year, who did they depend on for everything?
Brooke Paquette. No
they
doubt.
don't depend on Paquette for the leadership and the floor stability and points and distributing. But they don't have, if she doesn't get in the scoring column as much, they've got other people who can do it. It's a deep team.
We'll talk a little bit about Brooke in just a minute. We're going to pause for the national anthem. We'll be right back.
First class and the stop, and then Polly. Will you please remain standing as we play our national anthem?
Color presentation there by the Pinkerton Academy Junior ROTC. I have to tell you, Tom, that's one of the greatest programs in my estimation that they run throughout the state. We have one at Nashua North High School, and you can just see a difference in the kids that are in that program. Sergeant Nick Ellis runs our program at Nashua North, and he's tremendous.
I went to an all-military school.
There you go.
So I was a junior ROTC kid for 4 years. Want to know my?
Were you discharged? Did you get a?
Want to know what my rank was in my senior year? Go. Lieutenant Colonel. I was number 2 in charge. So you better salute every time you see me.
Lieutenant Colonel Tom King.
There you go.
Colonel Jessup. All right, here we go.
The only reason I didn't get Colonel, the top dog, I didn't play enough sports.
Is that right?
Yeah, I wasn't very athletic. I wasn't as athletic as I should have been.
It's not always the case.
No. And now I'm even worse.
We're getting ready for the jump ball here. We talked about Brooke Paquette, and the first time these two teams met last year, she dropped 28 in the semifinal, 32. So probably not going to have to be as much of a scorer here this evening, but wouldn't be surprised if we did see her head to the hoop and the free throw line on several occasions. Ready to do the jump ball here.
Jason, you've seen this team before, this Guertin team.
Yeah.
What strikes you about them this year?
The inside presence. They're very tall, long, lean. They don't shoot from the outside as much, Tom, a point that you made. And there you go, right there in the get-go. That one went underneath on the block. They do a lot more plays on the inside, trying to pound it inside. I think this year they've only made like 3 or 4 3-point field goals. So this is a team that likes to run, score their points via the fast break.
And turnovers.
And turnovers and getting fouled and heading to the line. But they've added an inside presence. Certainly bringing Megan Stack back helps that, as does the 6'2" Brooke Muller, who will come in off the bench. Pinkerton now in their half-court set.
Of course, the Astros don't have Lavoie tonight.
That is correct.
Right.
Yep.
What's her injury?
I do not know, undisclosed. But I talked to Coach Buskey, and she indicated that, look, we're going to have to find somebody else. Someone's going to have to step up, next person in.
And this is a young Pinkerton team. It's a little younger than they've been used to. Last year they had a senior-laden team.
Right.
So that makes a lot of difference.
There's a good culture here at Pinkerton Academy, and talking to Coach Buskey, and she loves the fact that these kids work hard. They understand what's expected of them, and we'll see how they do tonight without Lavoie in the game. Ball gets tipped around. It finds its way back and in, and that is Hannah Lynch, and she is in for the bucket.
What a move by Lynch. She did a dipsy-do, double pump, and it went right through the lane. No travel, got the foul, and she'll go to the line. Of course, the stat that you want to probably look at tonight is going to be turnovers, right? Yeah. I mean, the one thing I talked to Brad Eck preseason was, I said, what's the extra weeks that you get? You had 2 extra weeks from last year, right? What does that do? I mean, to spread out of the schedule a little bit more? He says we can use more of our presses now.
Right.
He said last year we probably only used 2 or 3. Now we got 4 or 5.
And Pinkerton off and running, and a pretty left-handed layup there on the backside by number 33, Sydney Gerasi, and Sid the Kid is on the board. She got a nice pass on the other side. Back the other way quickly comes Guertin.
That's just it. Wheeler with a quick answer.
So this is a Guertin team that will extend their player-to-player pressure here. And very rarely will they play zone. They've employed it a couple of times this year, but Paquette with the quick hands there and back the other way. It's a 4-on-1 opportunity. Paquette, bounce pass in the paint. Oh, and it was dished in there to Lynch. She got hacked in the act. We'll have to see who that was on. It's going to go against number 25, Kayla Dupree. It's her first, team's first. Now, this is a young lady, Tom, by the way, Hannah Lynch, who saw her first game just a couple of nights ago.
Exactly. She's back from an injury, so that's big.
And I think, it looked like she's quickly gotten her basketball legs underneath her.
The legs are underneath her in the first quarter. You want to know what they're going to be like in the latter part of the third into the fourth, right?
Especially on this bigger Pinkerton
floor. Yep. And look at this press.
Player to player.
A lot of pressure right here.
They break it. They have someone open on the backside. Thrown off the feet. Cleaned up nicely there. No, and on the glass is Stack. Back the other way comes Paquette. Nice job by Wheeler finding Murray. Scoop shot in and gets the roll.
Oh, look at this.
Ball didn't hit the floor many times once they got over half court. Just
the one
recognition.
thing, what do you see right now? Guertin being very aggressive, going to the basket. Pinkerton's trying to do the same thing, and it's not quite working out that way for them, right?
Every time that ball hits the floor, you can see 4 or 6 Bishop Guertin hands reaching for it. Yeah.
Swarming defense. The one thing, Jason, that Guertin is starving for is competition, right? They thought they would have had it 3 days worth of it down in Florida. Southwest Airlines ruined that idea. So they were stuck up here. They played Concord Christian. They scrimmaged the freshman boys team. Did what they could to try to keep things going.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. They have 6 out-of-state games here this year, Tom. And you mentioned they're going to play Drake. I'm going to cover that game against Drake. And I saw Drake at play. I called all of their tournament games last year in the Division II tournament. And I saw a team.
Jason Roby, you get around, huh? Look at that. Jeez, look at this. The mercenary.
Well,
the man with the mic.
That's it.
All right. Love it.
But it's a good Drake team, and they play some.
They beat them at the buzzer last year, right?
Drake won. Yeah, Drake won at the buzzer. Yep.
Right. So there's something about that we'll go over.
That's a pretty move there by Pinkerton's number 25, Kayla Dupree.
Look at that. Quickly down the floor. You got to make that layup, though.
That's been the Achilles heel. They've missed a lot of layups here, Tom, on those fast break opportunities, and if they can ever get those to fall, look out. Pinkerton now running in their half court and tried to force it back into 21 Benz, but no.
All the way. To see, Jason, what was so key and critical, and now Lanny Buskey's going to take a timeout. What was so important is with that Florida situation is you could play tough competition, but the games wouldn't count in the standings.
Right, and it's interesting, Tom, is that in Massachusetts they count. In Massachusetts they count. And here in New Hampshire it's like you have an opportunity to work.
The Christmas tournament games that they would have played in Florida wouldn't have counted. When they play Drake, it's counting in the New Hampshire
I mean
standings.
the holiday tournaments here in New Hampshire.
In Mass they count. But what I'm saying is they didn't get a chance to go down to Florida to play national tough competition, and now they've got 6 out-of-state games that are going to be difficult.
Right.
And Bedford, right? So there's 7 games right there, and this one. So there's 8 games where they're really going to be tested.
What we do know, though, Tom, is that iron sharpens iron, and even if you come up short in some of those games, it really hardens you for that tournament run.
It does.
Guertin was, the 5th seed last year?
Yeah, the seedings didn't matter, right? Come on, Jason, you got to be quicker.
I know. I didn't want to get in the way. I didn't want to have a turnover. Back the other way come the Cardinals. 4:26 to go here. First quarter, a 7-point Guertin advantage. Stack at the elbow, finds Lynch. Lynch up and under.
Well, Stack got fouled. They got away with it.
Good job on the offensive glass. Kicked out to Paquette. Couldn't get it going. Another offensive rebound.
Yes, you could tell the difference.
That's a good sign for this Cardinal team if they're cleaning up the glass, and Stack gets hacked in the act.
Yep. 3 offensive rebounds there, and they go right to the line. I cringe sometimes when I see a bounce pass because I think that's always trouble. But they made it work, and they got to Stack, and Stack gets hacked.
They do a nice job with their bounce passes, does Bishop Guertin. This is a team that really knows how to pass the ball well as Stack misses the first of 2.
First one goes in and out. A historic night here for ETV,
Indeed,
right?
Sir. Indeed,
3 games on various channels across the Comcast systems.
And another offensive rebound for Paquette. You know, Stack went 0 for 2 on that trip. That's not something you're used to seeing, but the good aggressive play by Stack will send, or rather by Paquette will send it to the line for 2.
If Paquette goes 0 for 2, I'll be shocked.
Did you just put the whammy on her, Tom?
Yeah, I
just
did.
Put the jinx.
No, I said I'd be shocked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's one.
There you go. Paquette is on the board. 2 for 2 for the senior point guard.
And not the start that Pinkerton would have liked. They're down 9 already in the first quarter, and they have all sorts of pressure that they're undergoing right now, and they're going to try to do their press breaker.
I got a sneaky suspicion, Tom, this Pinkerton team, regardless of what we see tonight, is going to be a different team come tournament time. These kids are, you mentioned it's a young team. They're going to be more of a veteran team in the later stages of the season as Kate Daly will check in for Hannah Lynch. Yeah, as you mentioned, Tom, Nashua ETV. We are on Nashua Government TV 16 tonight. Dylan Smith is on the moving pictures. Ball turned over by the Cardinals, but Pete Johnson, our executive producer, will talk to Mr. Brian O'Reilly, the athletic director here at Pinkerton Academy at halftime. Meanwhile, in Nashua, Bedford at Nashua North boys, John Collins and Rich McDonough calling the action for them there as Yahtzee from the outside.
Paquette nails it 16-4. We're just barely halfway through the quarter.
I think for me, Tom, what's more impressive is this is a Guertin team that they remembered this game last year, a year ago, and they were going to play start to finish, going to play the full game. That's going to be the goal here. Wheeler gets it back to Paquette. Paquette now.
Now, this game last year was a little bit more hyped and wasn't like this in the first quarter.
Left-hand runner by Stack. No, gets her own rebound.
Look at
and
the
a
move.
nice block shot.
Does
Good
not
help
get fouled.
defense. And that's going to go off of Daly. So good help from the weak side against Stack. They got a piece of that ball. Pinkerton, 2-on-1 opportunity. Pull-up jumper. Yes, and a nice make there for number 33. That is Sydney Gerasi. She's got her 4th point.
And that time, Pinkerton did a good job after that basket to get back on defense as Guertin is trying to run, and run some more. And Stack comes out now to get a breather.
TB Tall Brooke comes into the game for Stack. She'll get a break. 16-6, 10-point advantage for the Cardinals. But a couple of turnovers there in the last couple of possessions. So Pinkerton picking up their defensive intensity. Looking backdoor cuts and a good job of moving the ball by Pinkerton and a nice make there by Dupuis.
Yeah, can't allow those layups inside. That way Pinkerton will get right back at it.
Yahtzee from the outside. Caitlin Wheeler knocks down a 3.
So we talked about outside shooting and not falling in love with it, but Guertin with 2 straight threes to grab a big lead, 19-8.
Back the other way comes Pinkerton Academy. This is LeBrun. She gets the ball and another backdoor cut, but they lose the handle to it. Had a streaking Dupuis, couldn't get it. Kick back out, Murray. Yahtzee!
3 straight threes.
And
my goodness, 22-8. See, that's tough. You expect them to lay the ball in, right?
I think what's even scarier is a nice play and a nice pass underneath as Knight finishes. But what's even scarier is it's by 3 different players.
Oh, what a
Daly
pace.
the other way.
What a pace. What a pace here in the first quarter. And a 5-second call, I think.
I believe so, as Lynch, and it looks like Stack will check back in.
So Guertin
Wheeler
jumps
and
out.
Murray will come out.
Guertin jumps out to a 9-4 lead. And they get 3 straight three-pointers, make it 4.
Yahtzee!
4 straight threes.
Wow.
And it's now 27-10.
17-point advantage into the 3-point barrage from this Cardinal team. And I can tell you folks from around the state don't want to see that, because if they can start mixing that inside and outside game, leather souffle there from Stack. She has her pocket picked. Pinkerton keeps possession. Jump shot in and out. It was a good look. Paquette will run. Finds Lynch. Lynch now. Bounce pass. TB. No. But Lynch out muscling. Can't get it to go. She tries to rip it again. We'll get a jump ball call, and Hannah Lynch says that ball is mine. So possession will go to the Astros.
That's still got to be tough, though. You're on your home floor. You got a young team. You know what Guertin's going to do, and yet you can't stop it, and it's 27-10 already.
Having trouble getting the ball in.
And another 5-second or a timeout.
I think they got a timeout call, yeah.
Timeout call. So it was 9-4, and then it was 16-8. And all of a sudden, it was raining threes for the Cardinals.
Yeah, 12 points via the 3, and that's really a difference maker for this Cardinal team. If they can get that 3-point shot going, it's going to spell bad news.
Yeah, it really will. I think if they get that going, it opens up the inside, and once you get Stack back in the game, or Lynch, or some of the big people get down low, it's going to be tough.
Well, pick your poison, right, Tom? I mean, it's almost to the point of, look, if you come out to attack us, we're gonna use our 3 6-foot-tall players,
right,
and beat you on the block. If you pack it in, you play 4 feet in, we're gonna knock down that 3-point shot. And certainly depth perception here in this large gym having no effect.
But look at Pinkerton. They had to waste a timeout with 38.7 seconds left in a quarter.
Every possession counts here.
You don't want to use up a timeout at that point.
Nope.
And look at that.
Ball gets stolen there by Wheeler. I guess the
6th turnover for the Astros.
I guess the point there was, we don't want to give him the ball underneath the basket. We want to make him have to go 94 feet. Coach
and
Craig
Brad calls. I say you don't want to call timeout with 38 seconds left. He calls timeout with 17 seconds left.
He probably wants to set up something for the last shot here. Get a particular play in mind. He's going to go to his bench and put in his 2 point guards.
Murray will check back in.
Paquette and Murray will check back in for the Cardinals. So there's obviously they want some ball handling, some defense, and clearly some outside shooting.
I can't help but think with all the talent they've got on this team and some of the players that they're going to lose, what do they do next year? This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams, you know, after rebuilds.
Gowanus Paquette, Gowanus Smith, Gilmore,
and these girls have played.
Murray,
yeah, these girls have played
Stack,
here for a long
Daly,
time.
And you know, Kendra Patel and of course Paquette and Wheeler. I mean, you lose a lot.
Oh, that's a pretty move there. They found Stack underneath, and she finishes with the left hand. 3, 2, 1. Good if it goes. No. So we'll come to the end of the first quarter of this one, Tom. A 19-point Guertin advantage. It's 29-10. Your first impressions of this Guertin team?
Probably the best I've seen in the last 3 or 4 years. It just looks that way because of their ability to do it from the outside and the inside, right? And now you see, this is what you have to realize. You see what they're doing. You see what they're doing defensively on this floor, a big floor. Okay, imagine the pressure they would put on teams in the Caligula Dome. I mean, you've seen it. It's stifling.
Yeah.
You know, they don't. You know, it's a smaller court. Teams can't maneuver, and I imagine they score 40% of their points off turnovers.
This is a Pinkerton team that comes in here 4-0 in the regular season, the games that count. They won the Londonderry Holiday Tournament, went 3-0 there, so they are currently 7-0. But an interesting point was brought up here. They're without their leading scorer and probably their overall team leader, Elizabeth Lavoie. And I asked Coach Buskey heading into this game, look, you had 2 great games with them last year, a game where you came down from down 13 to win 74-66, and then a close semifinal game that was a little more defensive-minded, a 61-51 loss. But what are you expecting tonight without Lavoie in your lineup? Said, look, this is a situation where you have to figure out who we are without her and to trust in our system that we've built up to this point. And that's really, you know, from this, they could learn something about themselves in terms of another player off the bench or different matchups that they have. Certainly hope for Lavoie's fast return here. Cardinals work the ball around the perimeter. A 3-point shot, back iron, no by Wheeler, and Pinkerton will run. They do not have the numbers, so pulling the ball back are the Astros. That was Gerasi. Gerasi now left-hand dribble, guarded closely there by Murray. Crossover, she's double-teamed. Lynch helps, and back on the block, and good recognition there, but unfortunately, the Astros couldn't get it to go. They'll say that went off of a Guertin wing, so Pinkerton will get possession, but a nice job by the Astros in the half-court set there to find the open player. That ball gets tipped, finds its way into the hands of Gerasi. She'll set things back up in the half-court.
She got away with a little jog across the line now. They did not call it.
Soccer rules do not count here. Can't be on the line. Runner, and a pretty move there. No, Wheeler with the board, and the Cards will run. This is Murray. Head up looking. Throws one up, and Stack, or rather, I believe that was Muller was there to clean it up. Good patience now by the Cardinals, and you see them trying to take advantage of their height.
And the thing with Stack, she can go left, she can go right. You have to guess right if you're going to defend her.
That play started with Wheeler. A year ago, she launches that from outside. Instead, she hits Brooke Muller, who then finds Stack. Get the layup.
That's a different team. Last year they had to do different things, right? They had to do all sorts of different things in a short amount of time in a condensed season.
Benz loses her dribble, guarded closer there. Steal by Lynch. She'll run. We'll see how this works out. She finishes on the other end. She was harassed there a little bit, but...
And Pinkerton's Lanny Buskey just does not like what she sees and has to call timeout. 33-10. Wow.
Well, if you ask Coach Buskey...
Pete Johnson, I probably should have gone to the Pinkerton BG boys game.
This is a...
wow.
This is if you talk to Coach Buskey...
We're on channel 16.
16.
Right, okay. I got a text that said that there's television output issue. Yeah, okay. So, oh boy. They can hear us.
Oh.
They can't see us.
We got a face for radio, Tom.
That's it.
Well, speaking of which, as we mentioned, Bedford is at Nashua North tonight, and that should be a good one. Bedford is an undefeated team. They're very, very good. John Collins, Rich McDonough calling the action there. Tim Diesel O'Neill and Bruce Hillsmeyer on the moving pictures. The engineer for that one is Dan Young. Pete Johnson, of course, is the executive producer. Game director, Mr. Dante Lorendi.
How about that, huh?
Titles don't mean much, apparently. No. All right, I digress. 33-10 Cardinals over the Astros. Lynch, near steal there. Back the other way comes Pinkerton. Lost the handle. Was careful not to carry it there. Dupuis looking for some help. Finds Leonard. Leonard now. Good motion by this Astro team. Guarded closely on the perimeter by the Cardinals. Vaunted man-to-man defense.
Gotta be careful. You know, when you play that tough man-to-man, you can get a foul, and she got... Oh, I thought she would get called for a hook foul on the arm. She did not.
So too. Well, I will tell you that Brooke Muller is the one thing I've noticed about her game is she's gotten a little more aggressive.
She's
Still
quicker.
just a sophomore.
She's quicker.
Just a sophomore.
Right.
Only a freshman year ago. She's done had a lot of growth.
Bang.
And outside is Brooke Paquette.
36-10. Oh my. Wow. Did not expect this. I expected a good, maybe a 10-point lead, not a 26-point lead.
Ooh, got away with a walk there.
Yeah.
Nice scoop shot, couldn't get it to go. Stack will clear the boards, come the other way. The point forward, as it were. Left-hand dribble, drive, and takes it in.
Yeah,
gets
drives
hacked in
through
the act.
3 people and gets hacked.
It looked like she had Murray out to her left side for the baseline jumper, but decided to take it to the hole. So Stack will head to the line for a pair.
This is a clinic, an absolute clinic. Boy.
Stack so far, and she missed another free
Yeah, the
throw.
only thing she can complain about tonight is her free throws.
Yeah, she's 0 for 3 so far. We'll see how she does on this fourth one. She's got 6 points up to this particular point. She also makes the second shot. 1 out of 2 on that trip. 7 total points here for the Cardinals. Back the other way comes Pinkerton. They'll work it around the perimeter. That was Lasesi. She gets rid of it, looking for that backdoor cut. And she tried to save it, did Sid the Kid Gerasi, but her foot touched the line. Referee did not miss that one. Kate Daly will check in. Hannah Lynch will take a break. Hannah.
That's the thing. That lead allows you the luxury of moving people in and out, right? Oh, look at Stack all the way, but dribbled in too deep.
Yeah, that seems to be the issue for the games I've covered so far, is they find themselves too far underneath the basket.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice backdoor cut and a chance for a 3-point play there as Paquette will pick up the foul. It was great body control by Dupuis as she'll head to the line for a chance to complete the 3-point play the old-fashioned way.
That's the one thing you've got to worry about. Pinkerton seems to be able to get that backdoor cut.
It's their staple, and it's been working well for them.
Sure has.
Dupuis hits the free throw.
Yep.
She's got 7 total points here. Ever impressed with this Pinkerton scoreboard.
Oh, is this the first time you've seen it?
No, I saw it last year.
Last year, yeah.
Still equally as impressed.
Yep. Oh, yeah. No,
Paquette drives, and Leather Souffle gets that one blocked.
It was great during the volleyball tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing they don't show is replays.
Tim, I wonder, Tom, if they could, maybe we could be broadcast up there on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool, huh?
I know.
That's the big time. As Murray knocks down the little jump shot there. She has 7, so pretty balanced scoring here by this Cardinal team as they up their lead with 4:10 to go here.
Actually, the place you want to do it from is up in the corner over there where O'Reilly's office. I think that's O'Reilly's office up there.
Is that right?
I think so, if I remember right, from my days here, early days at the Telegraph. When I was at the Derry News, this place did not exist.
Correct.
They played at the Shepherd Dome, the small Shepherd Gymnasium.
I saw the first ever basketball game in this gym, Tom King.
Did you really?
I did.
Who was it?
The AAU
Whoa.
Matt Alosa-led Raiders.
My
Another
Murray.
3
An AAU game in the spring.
against the Soviet or the
And
Russian
when was it, around
national
91?
team. Yeah, 90. Yeah, 90.
Against the Soviet
91,
team.
yep.
Tony Carnevale
Yep.
used to bring the Russians
Correct.
over. Yes.
Scott
Yep.
Drapo broke the backboard on the other court. They had to come over and play on
Yep.
this one.
The late Tony Carnevale had some friends over in Russia
Yep.
and would take teams over there. And Tony taught. Tony, was all basketball, but he was also a very good history teacher.
Right.
And into it. And he took kids over, and I mean that's a good way to teach, right?
Sure.
Show them the culture.
Ball gets inbounded there to Gerasi. She works. Nice pass underneath. Reverse layup and in. That was a great sequence there as Benz finishes on the underhand scoop. Murray says, anything you can do, I can do
That's
better.
got to be 8 threes in this quarter. In this half. I've got to take a look at the book at halftime. That is the most
7
threes.
three-pointers.
7? That's the most I've seen a Guertin team have in a game
Tom,
of this
they didn't have that many
magnitude.
this year. And not to be outdone, three-pointer of her own is Hayden Lasesi. But you can see another turnover here by Guertin. And Coach Craig, if there's anything he's not going to like is some of these turnovers in the half court.
Well, right, because they're going to get hacked around and pushed around by the better teams that they're going to be facing the rest of this month and into next month. Because once Stack gets the ball down low, she's triple teamed. So what she's got to do is get the ball out to the people who are open. That's one of the reasons why they've had the three-pointers, right?
Sure.
Everybody's relaxed on the perimeter because they're so concerned about the inside game.
Good box out there by Daly. She clears the glass back the other way come the Cardinals. I have a sneaky suspicion the three-point shot is not what Coach Buskey wants to see at this point. That's just a guess on my part, but in order to stay in this one, they may have to hit
But
something.
what a difference a year makes. Last year they died by the three-pointer, right?
Timeout in stereo.
45-18.
Wow. We'll have Brian O'Reilly as our halftime guest here, Tom. It's pretty much New Hampshire royalty in terms of coaches. But Coach O'Reilly, also the athletic director here at Pinkerton Academy, nice enough to set this table for us over here in the corner.
I met Brian O'Reilly when he was a young, spry coach. Coached football and lacrosse at Pinkerton. Basically, I was brought around by the previous sports editor of the Derry News, and I interviewed O'Reilly. I almost did a job interview on site. He said, "Have you worked in where have you worked before? Blah blah blah."
He was interviewing you.
But what was great about Brian was if I had, I'm a young college, just out of college. My car was like garbage. If the car was in the shop, Brian would come down to the office and come up and do the weekly interview that we would do.
That's great.
So
That's great.
He was always great to, very media savvy.
Nashua North and Bedford getting ready to tip off as they're a 6:30 start. Lynch going to get called for the travel, and that was legit. She leaned in and then moved her feet before the contact happened, so 45-18. And again, turnovers in the half court, something that Coach Craig going to
he's not going to like that too much, right?
Continuing to pester is this vaunted Guertin defense. They just run.
I'm impressed about the press, but the half-court defense has been pretty good.
Pretty spin move there. Couldn't get it to go. Jump ball is called.
Wow.
And the possession
Arrow's
will
going
go
to
to
go
Guertin.
BG's way. Yeah, I'm surprised the jump ball was called there. Thought there was a little body contact that could have called a foul on Pinkerton.
45-18, 1:33 to go in the first half here from the campus of Pinkerton Academy. A large cavernous gymnasium. Hackler, I believe, yes.
The Hackler
Gym. And
Iva Hackler is who it's named after.
and that ball just a little bit too low The bounce didn't occur at the right place, but the reason for that was because Lynch's hand was kind of in the way, adjusting the way the pass had to be delivered.
Their defense affects every single play that Pinkerton makes on offense. Now, sometimes it's good for Pinkerton, but a lot of times they just haven't been able to connect.
67 seconds to go here. Paquette dribbles around, fires front iron. No, nobody boxed her. She followed her own shot.
Oh, in and out.
Everything but in. Battles for that one. Lynch isn't shy. Yahtzee!
8 3-pointers. And a 30-point lead.
45 seconds to go now. Trap there. Needs to get rid of it and does. They will set up in the half court and see if they hold for the last shot. No shot clock here in the state of New Hampshire. And good positioning on that bomb by Lynch, and they'll run, and she rewards Wheeler at the other end for a layup.
And all Buskey can do on the Pinkerton bench is just sit and watch. There's nothing really you can do to stop it.
Well, and you wonder, you know, they are missing as a foul called here.
Yep, so
but you don't know if they're missing her to the extent that it would be much of a difference. Hard to say.
Well, Gerasi and Lavoie, they're two scorers. So you're missing offense.
Gerasi has 4 up to this point, held scoreless in the second quarter.
And the idea was to shut those two down. They only have to shut one down. So.
And that ball gets picked and back the other way.
He's got just enough time.
Was Lynch.
Wow.
And that will do it here.
Whoa.
So that was about as complete a quarter, or a half rather, as I have seen. It is a 52-18
best half of basketball
advantage.
I've seen them play against a quality team. Best half of basketball.
That was quite impressive, and whatever Coach Craig said to his team about the game from last year in the regular season seems to have stuck.
I don't know if that really was a big motivating for it, because don't forget, they blew them out in the tournament.
They didn't blow them out. They won by 10.
No, in the tournament game? Yeah. In the tournament game, they won
61-51.
Right, but that was garbage time points because they were up big in that tournament game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was not as close as the final score indicated. So, but
the key here,
we'll
Tom, is they were up by 13 a year ago into the second half, and that's when Pinkerton made their comeback. So
here comes Brian O'Reilly. I will join you in the second half.
If not, well, that's how it goes, Brian. We are being joined here at the Hackler Gymnasium by athletic director, former head lacrosse coach, head football coach, a man who can probably juggle chainsaws if you asked him to. Wears a lot of hats here on the campus of Pinkerton Academy, Brian O'Reilly. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure when we come here. You set us up over here. I told Tom King that we're in the corner because of him. Otherwise, we'd probably be.
Tom and I go way back.
He told me. He told me the story. Yeah, he told me some stories.
There. Tom was there my first year coaching. He was the Cub reporter at Derry News. Yeah, and maybe the best reporter we've ever had around here. I will say that.
He does a good job. He really cares.
Does.
He really cares about the kids, and he does a nice job writing not just national type articles, but also local articles as well. And he does a great job. And when I first came to Nashua, he was one of the first gentlemen that I met, with the Nashua Telegraph, and always just gracious, asked great questions, and really did a nice job leading you in on the interview. It's sad to see him have to give up the microphone for a little bit.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
Brian, I just, you've been here, and not to date you or say how long that you've been doing this, but
47 years.
There it is. Okay, glad you said it. In your time here, Coach, have you seen a lot of changes in terms of the way kids are, the way they behave, the way they act, in their athletic endeavors? I mean, from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s, and now there has to be. Is there a lot of difference? Are there huge changes, or is it more the technology's changed but the kids are the same?
I think the technology has a lot to do. There's a conversation we have all the time because I have a couple of coaches on my staff that have been around with me right from the beginning, and we always talk about what were they like back in the late 70s and the 80s. In the end, kids are kids.
Right.
But social media probably changes things more than anything with kids. They want to emulate what they see online, what they see on television. And I'm sure they would have done that back in the day, but you rarely ever saw anybody, from the way they wear their shoes to everything else. But in the end, they're the same.
So what's the key then, Coach? What's the key? Is it do we as coaches and adults and teachers, do we have to kind of mold and adapt ourselves? Or is there an accountability piece that should always be consistent? What's the thing that we have to do to continue to help these young folks thrive?
It's something I learned even in the classroom, probably more so than on the coaching field, and that is.
They want you to move over, Brian.
Sure, so you can pick. We adjust as adults to what they are. We don't make them, I don't believe we make them fit into what we used to do or how kids used to do certain things. You just look at football, which you know very well, and how they've changed the rules in football. The blindside hits that used to be, everybody not only did them, they loved them.
Yes.
The crowds would go nuts, and it's as long as somebody didn't seriously get hurt, everybody loved that.
Right.
Well, we don't do that anymore, and for good reason.
Sure.
And I go far enough back that there was a time you could block below the waist.
Correct.
So things have changed from the old days, and philosophies change, and the way you teach kids, and that the old stereotype of a coach grabbing a kid and pull them around here, those things don't happen anymore.
Right.
Nor should they.
Right.
So we adopt to the kids rather than the other way around.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And a great segue, kind of, Coach, into my next point. Certainly a horrific play on Monday Night Football this past week. DeMar Hamlin of the Buffalo Bills went into cardiac arrest, and if not for the fast-acting trainers and medical personnel on site, things could have certainly gone in a different direction. And it made me think about some of the things I wanted to talk to you here about, and I'm sure a lot of parents that are watching around the state wonder just what goes, we know that in terms of having those kinds of folks at the high school level, it's not as easy to do those things with doctors and specialists and trainers, but there certainly is or are plans in place for things that happen like that, and you certainly have people here that do an outstanding job from an athletic trainer standpoint. Could you talk to us a little bit about their day-to-day, not just the things that they do, but how their interactions work with the staffs and the coaches and the players and all those kinds of things?
That is a major change from the old days when the coaches used to take care of the little broken finger or whatever. But every Division I school has trainers, and they're all excellent people. We trust them when we go on the road. They take care of kids right at the beginning. As the school ends, they're down in the training room. They're there to tape kids, to evaluate injuries. We have 2 at this school because of the size of our school. And we spread them around on the field. And we have them always at one of the contact sports if necessary, ice hockey, lacrosse, football. And we have the other one who kind of roams around on the golf cart that can go wherever they're needed to be. As you mentioned from the situation last week, we have they have the ability to have machines with them.
AEDs,
to be able to, So they're all around campus. The trainer has one with them all the times. Fortunately, in our situation anyway, we haven't had to deal with that with students. Right. But I will tell you that our trainer, Jamie Boudreau, several years ago at one of our home football games, shocked one of the fans from the opposing team back to life. It was a grandfather of one of the players, and Jamie just jumped right in immediately, didn't hesitate at all, and knew exactly what to do. And the man was able to pull through afterwards.
That's a great
and
thing.
all schools, we all have these trainers that we've come to rely on now that take care of those things, so we don't have to think about them.
Right.
But when it does happen, they spring into action right away. That's what they do.
You know, it's a small world. So Jamie Boudreau, we talked a little bit before the game, was my roommate in college my freshman year. And Amanda Canning, of course, your other athletic trainer here, she's the salt of the earth. Amanda was at Nashua North for many years there as our trainer over there. And I can tell you, I never felt safer than when Amanda was on our sidelines or taping up our kids, and she would give me before every practice, she would give me a report of, who was limited to what and who had what ailments and who needed to go get treatment after practice and these kinds of things. And, you kind of take those for granted sometimes because, as you mentioned, I remember taping my own wrists, trying to, a coach would tape my ankle up, before games and practices and so forth. And it's really come a long way. Along those lines too, Coach, coaches themselves have to be certified too, right? CPR and first aid and so forth. And there's a program that they have to go through in order to coach. Is that correct? Yeah.
So all of our coaches have to do that. Even our volunteer coaches, we get them all involved in that. And because you just never know when you are by yourself. And they might be on campus, but they might be over at the far outfield on the far side. It's going to take them 4 minutes to get over here. So that's the number one thing, safety from today that we never had in the past, and it'll only get better and better as time goes on.
Absolutely right. Well, Coach, I want to thank you for joining us. I could talk to you all night, all the way back to that 85-86 Mahalco Segretti team that I watched on WMUR, to the Tom King stories of when he worked here as a reporter in the Derry News. And
he had more hair in those
well,
days.
I think we all did, Coach. But it's great. It's great that you take the time to come talk to us. Wish you the best in 2023, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Take
sir.
care.
He is Brian O'Reilly, the longtime lacrosse and football coach here on the campus of Pinkerton Academy, also the athletic director, and taking a time out to speak with us here on Nashua ETV as we head into second half action. Well, Tom, I learned a lot there. He had great things to say about you, and then I saw you slip him a $10 bill. Not quite sure what that was all about, but good deal.
It's from the coffee you bought me a long time ago.
All right, we are ready here to start second half action, and Pinkerton Academy working in the half court. Dribble drive, kick out. Paquette to apply the pressure. Pick on ball, and another pick and roll, Tom. Good help defense there by Wheeler, but the foul in the act.
Brian O'Reilly fed me probably one of my biggest scoops over the, I hate using that word because I feel like Jimmy Olsen, but he told me where Ryan Mahalco was going to go to school.
Yeah, okay.
Before the announcement.
There you go.
And he said if it was anybody else, I wouldn't have done it. So he'll always have big part of my career was covering his teams and working with him over the years.
Well, that was a team that beat Keene 52-0 in the state finals.
Yes.
And
Troy,
they had a player by the name of Troy Wilkes did Keene, and they shut him down. Mahalco and Segretti. Segretti, of course, going to Holy Cross. Mahalco, I believe, ended up at Penn State. Is that correct?
No, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, thank you. Excuse me. I was thinking of a kid named Jeff Perry out of Kennett High School. A scoop up and under, and a make there by Olivia Murray.
My guess is that we'll try to go more inside if they can.
54-20 now. And it seems like just a run your offense kind of set here as Pinkerton works it around the perimeter. They'll look for the best shot. Once again, no shot clock here. State of New Hampshire. Oh, pretty crossover dribble there. And knocking down the three-pointer. Good shot there by Sid Gerasi. Underneath kick-out Stack. Unselfish finding Murray top of the key. No. Paquette with the follow.
What a follow and a putback just in and out. What a play.
And nobody boxed her out.
No,
That's the second time.
Yeah, second time we've seen that. They have to box her out. If I have to take one thing from this team in this game besides the three-pointers, it's the rebounding. They've really done well on the boards.
Paquette knocks down the first. Yeah, and it wasn't like this in the first couple of games, Tom. They were getting beat on the boards, and definitely playing a lot more aggressive on the boards and finding their spots.
They don't look like a team that's played one game in 2.5 weeks, do they?
This is true. Good help defense there as Wheeler came out to help Paquette, forcing Pinkerton.
Oh, and a travel, yep. They force it. One way or another, they are on your mind. And they cause you to make bad decisions or hurry the good decisions that you're going to make on the floor. And that's the one thing that this defense does.
Kick out to Lynch. Lynch goes up strong and too strong. Gets on the floor. That ball's rolling. Pinkerton will come away with it. Losing her dribble there is Leonard. She was able to get it over quickly to LeBron. Kick back to Leonard. Left-hand crossover.
Wide
and another backdoor cut.
Yeah, they do well. They do that well. And if they play each other again, you guarantee the film will show that, and they'll go over it.
And very real possibility that these two teams will see each other at some point down the road. Look, this is a Pinkerton team that's down significantly here, but as I said earlier, a team that we fully expect to improve leaps and bounds. Look, they're 7-0 at this point in the year, so they're a good basketball team. Pretty dish there, couldn't finish it.
Well, Pinkerton passes the ball well, that's for sure.
2-on-1 coming back to the way. Lynch goes up strong. No, Wheeler on the follow-through. And that's the one thing, Tom, that BG does very well. The trailers will follow. Trailers will follow and clean it up. And 5:14 to go here, 57-23 Cardinal advantage. We're watching on Nashua ETV Girls Division I basketball action.
An offensive foul. A little theater act, I think, a little bit by Paquette, but not bad.
Academy Award worthy, Tom?
Yeah, close,
okay.
Close.
All right.
You know, close. I think if you're going to do that, you've got to hit the floor, right? If you're going to stumble back, you've got to hit the floor. Make it look even better.
Sounds like a man who speaks from experience.
Yep.
North is up 16-12 after the first
I hit the floor
period.
at my age, Jason. I'm not getting back up.
Oh, my goodness. And let me tell you, you didn't see that here, but Pete and I did. Stack just passed the ball and passed the bounce pass between Emma Knight's legs over to her teammate who couldn't get to it. But, my goodness, she threaded the needle there. It's a turnover, but when you watch that back on Nashua ETV, it was crazy. 16-12, as I mentioned. North is up over Bedford in the first quarter action from the campus of Nashua North. Thank our executive producer, Pete Johnson, for that little tidbit.
Well, the Titans have got a game they want to rebound from, right? After that Merrimack loss?
No doubt. Oh, good ball fake, good shot fake.
Yep, Murray very patient, puts it in. Well, there's nothing much you can do, right? What do you do? You know, if you're Pinkerton, you really have to just work on some things now. You got 4:24 left to play in the third quarter, so you got 12 and a half minutes to go in the game.
It's a seasoned Bishop Guertin team in that these girls have been playing together for 3 years, right?
So well, and coached by the same staff for that length of time. That's what really shows, you know. So
looks like that foul is going to go against Murray, and it will send Pinkerton to the line. This is Emma Knight. And acoustic shadows here in the gymnasium. Very quiet.
Boy.
Knocks down the first. Pretty good crowd here tonight, Tom. Friday night.
Yeah, not bad on a bad weather night.
Yep. Did you take the snowmobile here?
I walked.
Okay. Knight is 2 for 2. She has 4 points on the evening thus far. Coming back the other way is Guertin. Paquette went to the left, but went with the right and couldn't get it to go. Nice bounce pass there, and Paquette hustling the floor.
And Stack gets fouled.
And
that's the one thing. These kids are going to run the floor.
They're
going to
floor.
run the floor, and they won't let up. And even if it's a 25-point game, which now it's a 34-point game, but they'll still run the floor. They have to keep the intensity up.
The one thing you won't see in the scorebook, Tom, is, Paquette went in and missed that shot, but she hustled back on defense and is the reason why Guertin gets possession here. Daly. Murray. Daly now in the corner, finds Brooke Muller, up and under. Pretty move there by the sophomore.
Doesn't get any easier, does it? I mean, she had all sorts of room.
They got the inside game going. They got the outside game going.
Well, this is the inside game in the second half, right?
Yep.
They made the statement with the 8 threes in the first half that saying if you want to zone us and force us to the outside, we'll shoot it.
Double team there at the point of attack, and it looks like Stack's going to get called for the blocking foul as she and Muller converged there. A couple of 6-footers trying to get that trap, and aside from the foul, it was a tough look. Chirasi now working on Paquette. There's another double. Stack quickly got back as heading to the back door was Knight. Oh, and
turnover.
Another turnover driving the paint. 3 Cardinals collapse onto Benz. And Tom King got a good shot there of that Paquette.
I mean, I had 4 of them. I mean, there was nobody on her. I mean, she just took the lane, and Lanny Buskey can only, I mean, the film will tell the story for Pinkerton. Buskey will have a field day with the film when they go over it.
63-25, Guertin. And that ball is turned over out of bounds. Would have been a backcourt violation regardless. So Cardinals will get possession, and Coach Craik will head back to the bench, getting her first action. Tonight's number 25, Ariana Kukalakis. She's a 5'6" junior guard. Daly now running the point. Get it to Kukalakis. Motion offense here. Wheeler was being played ultra aggressively, so she took the baseline. She gets hacked in the act.
Now,
in the
first half, she would have shot from the outside, right? Would have passed it and then gotten open on the outside, and they would have done that.
That was her game a year ago. Now she's become more of an inside presence
player
for sure.
Just this game is a little different. And I think too, Jason, I think the big floor gives them that alternative, right? They fall in love with the big floor. If you're a team like them, they can do so many different things. You go, well, we got all sorts of room to shoot from the outside. And last year, that's what happened. They fell in love with it, and it hurt it.
1 out of 2 for Wheeler.
Now it's, oh my God, what a difference a year makes. 64.
Well, we also saw a year ago a bigger floor made it harder for them to press. And
they were a guard-oriented team.
Right,
they live by it.
Right.
These kids are all a little bit older, a little bit bigger. You know, I mean.
2 minutes to go here. The ball comes up a little short, finds its way in the hands of Hannah Lynch. She'll come down the right side and pull it up and set up in the half court. Good discipline there by the Cardinals.
Creek is calling a play here. He wants a certain play.
It's a great move by Coach Craik to run some half-court sets here and get his kids going. I love it.
Yeah.
Kukalakis, and that ball went between the legs of Daly, but good discipline by that Cardinal team. Look, we maybe could have had a 2-on-2, but instead, let's pull it up and work on some of our half-court game because you're going to need it as the season progresses.
I just didn't think this was going to be a work on things game. You know, I mean, coming in here.
Oh, good help defense there. Good switch, double team. Great help on the backside, and a great, I'll tell you what right there, that entire sequence, if you go back and watch that, it very well could have ended in a Pinkerton bucket, but every shot was contested, and the help defense was outstanding.
If a shot's not contested, the coach isn't happy.
Daly now working on the corner.
1:09 to go.
Lynch, dribble drive, lost the handle. It was good help defense. Ball on the floor. We're going to get a jump ball call here.
Guertin's ball.
Possession stays with the Cardinals. Emily Leonard gets her, comes back into the game for the Astros. Lynch finds Daly. Daly back door cut. Murray couldn't finish it. Ball on the floor, but Murray was standing out of bounds. So possession will go back to the Astros. 53.7 seconds to go here. Third quarter of this one. 64-25 Guertin. And losing her dribble there was Wright. She needs some help. Able to find Leonard.
Just you don't see any letdown defensively, do you?
Just
Not
good switching defense, good help defense. And Kukalakis is going to get called for the foul there, Tom, but it was a great switch between her and Lynch, and she moved her feet. It's not because she was stagnant. She just was beat to the spot by a half a step. You have to like that if you're coach.
Muller comes right back out on the big girl. Does not go back down low. Comes right back out defensively.
And little penetrate there, throwing it up, and it looked like she may have been hacked in the act. It was Hayden Lassesi. So she'll go to the line for 2.
64-25, 27.6 seconds left in the third quarter of a very one-sided basketball game.
Hayden back irons the first. She'll get a second.
If I'm not mistaken, Pinkerton has never led in the game. I don't think it was 2-0 Pinkerton at the start.
Don't believe so.
No. Guertin jumped out to a 9-4 lead. They never looked back.
0 for 2. Rebound goes to Muller, and back come the Cardinals. Kukalakis looking for Tall Brook in the paint, and gets, the good call there is Muller kind of got pulled back and was looking for the foul from the official on the baseline. She got it from the sideline official, so.
They didn't call, did they call a foul?
They did, I believe, yes sir. I thought, no, maybe they didn't.
I don't think so. No, they didn't go over to the bench.
Well, it was the sideline official.
Yeah, did not call it.
Nice backdoor cut there. Wheeler finishes. No offensive foul.
And here's the thing. They are not afraid to take the contact on a play like that. They will go right to it.
And at the buzzer, the runner was thrown up by Emily Leonard. She had a good look at it, but couldn't get it to fall. We'll head to the fourth quarter here. Guertin ahead 66-25.
My goodness.
And I think if you're Coach Craig, you look at it as a good quarter from a lot of standpoints, several standpoints. The first, look, let's run some half-court sets. Let's see what we look like in the half court. Let's continue to work the ball inside. Let's get the ball to our post players down on the block. Let's continue to play smothering defense in terms of help defense and double teams and sliding on the backside to cover that backside post. They're doing a really good job in a lot of areas here. It's a Guertin team that right now is probably serving notice as one of, if not the favorites to win the state title here. There's a lot of basketball to go.
It just looks that way. I mean, it'll be an interesting game when they play Bedford. A little bit more height, a little bit more, spunk, and a good team, a good Bedford team. It's got a memory of a game that they probably felt they should have won in the finals last year. So all of that will add to the ingredients of a regular season. And all that Guertin wants to make sure is that they're tourney tough by the time you get to late February, early March.
Pinkerton working the ball around the perimeter now, trying to find the best possible shot, and very unselfish. Kick back out to the three-point line, into the paint, and finding that backdoor cutter. Foul will go against Megan Stack. Meanwhile, to my left here, Michaela Bowen, who worked the camera in our last game, is now filling up the water bottles here for this Guertin team. Speaking of wearing many hats, she does a little bit of everything, does the Eastern Connecticut softball first-year player. As Coach Craig welcomes her back to the bench. 7:10 to go here in this one. 66-25. Muller underneath, couldn't get it to go. Tried to clean it up, and it went off of her, so Pinkerton will get possession.
Muller's gotten good position inside several times on the right side of the basket.
Well, and the difference here, too, is they're feeding it to her, Tom. A year ago, maybe not as strong, and this year, definitely a different player.
A year ago, she was 5 more fouls, right? Now she's playing a key role. Again, you've got to have the depth. I mean, they're playing 6 games out of state, 3, I think 2 or 3 at home and 3 on the road, but you've got to have the depth to be able to do it.
Leather souffle there by Muller, and a great save on the other end. Murray from the outside. Yahtzee!
If I'm not mistaken, that's the first 3 of the second half,
It
right?
is indeed, sir.
So that's 9 for the game, 69-25.
And I think they've been a bit more, conscious of trying to set up in the half court.
Murray was the top scorer in the first half. She had 13, 3 threes. Now she has 4.
Baseline dribble drive, double team there, and Stack going to pick up her third.
You get
Sliding
anywhere
over
near
to
that
help.
basket, you're going to see a lot of green jerseys around you. Anytime you've got the ball, you're going to see a lot of green jerseys around you.
I saw South High School out of Worcester, Massachusetts play Drake in their holiday tournament, and defensively, the only team that I see that can compare to this Cardinals team is that South team. I've never seen a team move around the floor faster than that South team. They beat Drake by 20 in their holiday tournament. So
put them on a schedule for next year.
69-25, 5:48 to go here in the fourth quarter. Around the rim and no good. So Stack got the rebound. She'll stay in the game with those fouls. Murray gets the ball from Paquette. They work it around the perimeter. That was Kendra Patel now in the game. Paquette, Stack.
3 starters out there.
Coming over the top there, and a good defensive play by number 33, Sydney Gerasi. She'll get the steal. We are underway from Bedford High School. Nashua North down 9-2 to Bedford. Obviously, this Bedford girls team, no strangers to postseason success.
Tough matchup for North in that one.
Yep.
Tough matchup.
Get a couple of free throws here as Gerasi will head to the line. By my count, she has 7 points. Misses the first of 2. As far as team fouls go, Pinkerton has 5 and BG has 8. So the Cards are in the bonus.
Yeah, with 5:10 to go, Pinkerton will go to the line.
0 for 2 for Gerasi. Stack will kick it out, and a good job here by the Guertin offense to run their motion set, and cleaning up there is Paquette. And Stack going to draw a lot of attention as she heads to the hole, and following that was Paquette, and she'll go to the line for a pair.
Stack gets a good move, spin move, and gets a clean shot at the basket, just doesn't hit it. But
hitting the first is Paquette.
This team just follows and follows and follows more, right? Follow up the ball.
Paquette will get a second. Basket will count. Foul will go against the Cardinals. (71-25). Some clarification here as the referees will talk to one another, and so 1-1 on the other side of things. Hayden can't get the first to go. Back the other way comes Paquette and the Cardinals. Ball kicked out there. Kukalakis, Patel. Back inside, unselfish play. Look at the movement. And leather souffle there. Ball's going to stay possession of the Cardinals. But just good ball movement there, Tom King, by this Cardinal team in the half court.
And they're quick, right? They get rid of the ball. They don't hold the ball very long. So they move the ball, they keep it moving, they force you to move your feet on defense.
Kukalakis feeding underneath, and a good look by Stack.
Look at Stack without the ball, moving without the ball. That's always a key, right? Something that's underrated in basketball, especially in high school basketball.
That was a pretty feed by Kukalakis on that one. Shot from the outside.
Bang.
Knocking it down is Lasesi. And back the other way comes Patel, and she'll get hacked in the act, so she'll head to the free throw line.
I was going to say, where was everybody on the bench? And then I see they're all in front of the scores table. I said, where do these kids go? Now they're in front of the scores table.
Back iron
all
there.
Coming in.
And substitutes coming in for both teams as Bedford is up on Nashua North 15-4 in the girls' game. Good box out and rebound there by Dupuis. Back the other way comes Pinkerton. 73-28, 3:35 to go here in this one. Working against Muller. Kick out. Fired from downtown. No good. It was a good look. Paquette over the half-court line. Pretty bounce pass there.
Oh,
Patel couldn't finish it. But that was a great bounce pass by Paquette.
You love the court vision from Brooke Paquette.
Understanding.
It's a year where she doesn't have to do everything where she did last year, right? She had to do an awful lot.
I would say that's accurate. As a nice scoop shot underneath there by Emily Leonard. Meanwhile, at the half from Nashua North High School, it is the Nashua North boys 38 and the Bedford boys 26. So a little early to say, but it looks like Coach Lane may have given his team a pretty good wake-up call there.
Yeah, I think so.
A lot of basketball to be played in the Gate City, but we'll see how things turn out. And 3 different start times for these 3 games here.
6,
6:30, and 7.
Oh, 7.
I believe it was 7, the girls.
The girls' game was 7?
That's
okay.
right. Pete Johnson, the mastermind behind pulling off 3 games.
Yes, he got some. Well, I can't use the word ink anymore, but got some play in the.
He did, yeah. Good job, Tom.
Yes, yep. I forgot to put the disclaimer at the end that I work for ETV. I seriously, I meant to do that, and I didn't do it. I'll add it later on. That's the good thing about online. If you miss something, you can always go back.
Pete Johnson, the wizard. Good, unselfish basketball, working it around the key.
Paquette on a runner.
Oh, Daly with the cleanup and hustle play there by her. If Guertin's able to score in this possession, you'll look back at that Daly hustle.
They may want to hold the ball. I'm not sure. Maybe just kind of run out the clock.
Would that be the
nope, I guess not.
Daly nightly hustle? Play on words there, Tom. See what I did there?
Yep.
73-30 Cardinals, 1:16 to go in this one. Foul called against the Cardinals.
Don't go John Collins on me.
10 team fouls against the Cardinals.
Do not go John Collins on me.
10 team fouls against the Cardinals. That'll send the Astros to the line for a pair. Missing the first one is Kaylee Dupree, excuse me.
Believe our next game on Nashua ETV, we will be wearing the Woolies. We'll be all dressed up with our ski caps on for a hockey. North versus South. North Sauhegan against South Pelham, Conway Arena on Wednesday night. I'm not sure if that's a 6:10 or a 7. I'm not sure. 7:10. Only taping, not live. Okay.
That's so they can fix all your mistakes, Tom.
Right, exactly.
That should be a good one, North and South. Meanwhile, this Bishop Guertin team will play at Dracut on January 11th. 6 o'clock start in that one. And this Pinkerton team is going the other way. Daly, way to control her body.
I know it exactly. She was almost ready to just slide and just kept her balance for the layup.
This Pinkerton team, no rest for the weary. They will head to Portsmouth.
Did you get that one, Dad? Yep, he nods yes.
They'll head to Portsmouth for a 7 o'clock game on January 10th. So that should be a good one between Pinkerton and Portsmouth. Air ball there. Pinkerton comes away with the rebound. Kick back out. Fired from the outside. Rebound by Wheeler, and back the other way comes Guertin. And that is going to do it here. 4 seconds to go in this one. Guertin will just run out the clock, and the final.
My, oh my, oh my.
Final in this one, Bishop Guertin 75, Pinkerton 30.
All right, Jason Roby, got to do my other job now.
All right, always a pleasure, Tom. We're going to get Brad Craik over, maybe a player or two. We'll see who he wants to interview. Brad Craik and Coach, 75 to 30, certainly a lot of good things. You must be really pleased with what you saw out there tonight.
Yeah, good effort by our kids. I thought we played hard from start to finish. Like we talked about before the game, we wanted to try to control as much of the tempo as we could. I thought we got the game sped up pretty well.
One of the
made some shots.
Yeah, well, that was my next point. You beat me to that punch. Was one of the things of note was the three-point barrage that you had there, especially in the first half. I believe you at one point you hit like 8 3-pointers in that first half, and that hasn't been the recipe this year. And boy, that spells a lot of trouble for some other folks if you start to be able to combine that outside with that inside.
Yeah, well, I think we've hit 4 threes all season long.
Collective, yes.
So we'll take it. Look, sometimes you're going to make shots. Sometimes you don't make shots. It's sort of one of those parts of the game that you can't really control. But look, I'll take it when we're knocking them down. That's for sure.
What's the message that you give to this team? As you said, I'll talk to you guys on the bus. Clearly, there was some laser focus here tonight. I saw good work on the boards. I saw unselfish passing in the half court. I saw great defense, and I saw finishes in the paint tonight by your girls. What's the message on the bus as you leave here tonight to this team?
Well, I mean, first, I think you got to acknowledge that they played a good game.
Yeah.
So, kudos to them, and I think we'll tell them exactly that. Well done by you guys. Let them enjoy it for the bus ride home. And then we got to turn the page, though, because we got Drake next week.
You got a tough Drake. You're going to Drake, a heartbreaker of a game there. A year ago, you lose by a bucket at the end. Your girls going to be dialed in, I imagine, for that one like they were for this one.
Yeah, we did not like what happened to us over there last year. So these guys, they remember that. And but Drake, it's a really good team.
They are.
They got one of the better players in Massachusetts. Just an absolute scoring machine and a really tough kid. And she's played AAU with a bunch of our kids, so they all know each other pretty well. It's just going to be another good test for us on the road against a team from Eastern Massachusetts. So we're looking forward to it. We'll rest up a little bit and get back at it on Sunday.
Taking a quick step back, I hate to go back to this particular game because it's over and it's in the books now, but do you look at this Pinkerton team and say, okay, this is a team that come tournament time, they're probably not going to look like this, and is that a message that you kind of, obviously Liz Lavoie not here in the game tonight, but is this a team that you can see, hey, this team is going to improve as the season goes on, no question about it.
Look, I've been doing this is my 8th year. I've never seen a Pinkerton team that wasn't a lot better in March than they were in January.
And that's a sign of a great coach, a great program.
She's a great coach.
Yeah.
It's a great program. It's a proud program. And look, when you're missing a kid of that caliber, it changes so much about what you're doing as a team, and she's really young.
Yeah.
So kind of a double whammy for him tonight. And look, that's not the Pinkerton team that you're going to see. Even next week when Liz is back.
Right.
She's a little under the weather, and hope she's feeling better soon. And she's an absolutely great player, one of the best players in New England,
sure,
if not the Eastern region. So that's just an entirely different team a week from now when she's back in the fold.
Yeah, well said, Coach. Well, he is Coach Craik of the undefeated Bishop Guertin Cardinals. We'll head to Drake it and get that one next week. Want to wish you the best of luck. Safe travels back home. Roads might be a little slick, but we'll catch up with you on the side of things.
Thanks very much.
All right. Brad Craik, the Bishop Guertin Cardinals, they come in here tonight to Pinkerton Academy and run away with this one 75 to 30. All facets of the game were clearly dominated by this Cardinal team. As Coach Craik mentioned, when you can get the outside shot working to go and complement your inside game, your running game, your defensive game, it is the complete picture, and the result is what you saw here tonight. Well, I want to thank our executive producer, Pete Johnson, Tom King, my broadcasting partner, Dylan, on the moving pictures as we sign off here. we want to just remind everybody that there are still 2 games currently going on, so stay on the ETV bandwagon here. We have Bedford at Nashua North, and that one is on channel 99, the education channel. It's also simulcast on BCTV, the Bedford channel 23. And in addition to that, BCTV channel 1072, simulcast on NPTV Nashua Pub channel 96 is the Nashua North versus Bedford Girls. So a lot of basketball action here tonight in the Granite State. Want to thank you for joining us here. Signing off from the campus of Bishop Guertin, my name is Jason Roby, reminding you that it is not the critic who counts, but you can always count on the critic. Take care, everybody. Have a great night.